Hey everyone, at long last I finally feel I have tested the Turtle Beach Recon Controller for long enough to give you guys a quick review. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my unboxing of the controller, which will be linked in the description for you. So let's get started with the video, and I'm going to start with the pros on the controller. Price of this controller, which I did mention in the unboxing, but of course for those who haven't seen it, this is actually $49.99 to buy from the Turtle Beach Direct website and other websites as well, of course, that you can get it all at the same price as what you would get normally for a standard Xbox controller. So if you're looking to maybe invest or even try out having buttons at the back, this will really help you out with that. So, and at a really reasonable price, rather than committing to say one of the bigger controllers, the fancy controllers, and them just being over £200 and you're not used to them yet. It can become quite challenging to get used to them if you haven't already. So the price is definitely my first pro on the controller, because it's what you'd spend if your normal controller broke and you needed a new one. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Again, in comparison to others that have the MAPPABLE buttons features, they can tend to be quite heavy, whereas this one's really light. So it keeps it feels like your hands stay a lot cooler. I don't feel like I have the same kind of problems with my hands getting kind of too hot during gameplay, or sweaty hands kind of vibes. So yeah, the actual weight is really light, and it keeps your hands really cool, and the cooling grips are actually really nice touch. I actually feel like they work. I've had quite a few controllers that say, oh, it keeps your hands cool, and does it though? Yes, this one actually does, which is fantastic. I love how the buttons over paddles. Let me just get that out of the way first, because I hate paddles. They're too sensitive. It can kind of get in the way. Even on kind of Xbox's version of their own version. I've tried that. I always seem to accidentally press them, because you can press them at any point of the actual paddle. So not just at the end, you can actually press it right up to where it kind of clicks in. And I was jumping about and really not doing much shooting and getting very frustrated with it. But that's my opinion. Of course, everyone has their own opinion. If you do like the paddles, I'm not saying they're a bad thing. I'm just saying, for me, I really wanted buttons as opposed to paddles, and this really answered my prayers. So as you can see on the back, you get two buttons. They are extremely thin, but if you can hear, they're super click. Like they click, and they're not sensitive, so you don't accidentally press them, which again I love that. I think it's a great option. They don't get in the way. You can kind of not have your fingers on them at all, and even if you did have your fingers on them, you feel like you kind of have to really click to get it to kind of work. So again, I really do like that option. You get 4 options to choose from, and you can actually have them stored, so you can change your mapping to different games, to different styles, and whatever you want it to do. So again, I like that option. Even from this distance, it's incredibly imprinted, meaning you don't really mess up. You kind of know which one you're going for. Again, which I really do like about it, because I've got quite big fingers, so I accidentally press the wrong buttons all the time. It's quite precise, so again, that's why I like it. I don't feel like I mess up or press the wrong button as much as I used to, so that's really good. The volume and chat mixer. Having this option on the controller is amazing itself. For those of us who still game on console and we don't have one button to turn down chat completely, I think it's a great feature, and it also allows you to switch between Turtle Beach's classic audio options, so supersonic hearing, kind of all them options, which is the same ones you get on the headset. So that's really cool. I really like it. I like how you can just literally mute them at a push. You can turn them down, and you can also put your gameplay up. So I think that's really cool. really impressed with these. I have tried numerous of cheaper controllers that have maybe like a custom buttons, and Thumbsticks weren't as responsive as this one. And I'm 8 months in and I don't have stick drift, I don't have any problems like that. You can hear they're incredibly sturdy, they click in. You know, they're doing really well, especially kind of 8 months down the line and how much I probably abuse the controller. So they're doing really well. Right, they're the right size. They kind of have this ring around them, which kind of dents it in a little bit, so it is kind of like having like the dipped ones, but that's really cool. I really like that. And I also play it a lot on my Nintendo Switch and the thumbsticks. I'm not trying to shit on Nintendo at all, I just feel like their thumbsticks could improve a little bit, especially with Fortnite no build coming, and I've just, you know, been enjoying that. So I really have been impressed with the quality of this controller, how long it's lasting, touch wood. So yeah, overall I am extremely happy with this controller. The quality and everything it comes with, for 50 quid, it packs a punch. I mean, it really does compete with your others that are out there. But of course, every controller has cons, everyone has an opinion, so I have really thought quite closely before really going through the cons, because I don't want it to sound like I'm nitpicking or anything, but it's more so that I know that everyone has their own opinion, has a, you know, a preference, and I'm completely okay with that, and I've considered that as I've been going through the cons. So, sound controls on the controller itself. I know I mentioned them in the pros, but there is a downside to them because you need to use a wired headset. So I've got wireless headset, and I needed to actually borrow a headset that was wired so I could test out the audio options. So, kind of not very good. I'd like to maybe see a Bluetooth compatible feature in the future, or even just something that can maybe keep Turtle Beach honouring, you know, the fact that I've spent on, and other people have spent money on, a wireless headset, probably through themselves if they've committed to the controller. So using my £120 headset, it's not their top of the range headset, but it still means that this option is completely useless for me, which sucks. Hopefully maybe in the Mark II, if they do a different version of it, they might consider that, because it would have been something that would have been so good if I could use it all the time, not just on a temp testing basis. I really like the controller. I have no want or desire to change the look or feel of this controller. I like the size of the thumbsticks, I like the D-pad, so on and so forth, you get the idea. But I know people do like to customise their controller to do exactly how they like it. Other controllers, they will have like smaller thumbsticks, different D-pad options, different size mappable buttons, all this kind of thing. So again, I completely understand if you want to customise it, you're very limited to how the controller looks, and you get it in a black or white version, so there's none of these colourful interchangeable pads or anything like that. Kind of sucks, but not for me. Again, this isn't a con for myself, it's a con because I know it would be an issue for other people. You only get 2 mappable buttons on the back. Again, I don't need more than 2. Some people do use 4 and have the option to have 4 on other controllers, so if you're used to that, going down to 2 might be an issue. But again, if you're kind of new to having the back buttons at the back of the controller, it's so good. You don't have too much going on, and you can kind of start getting used to it. So I think it's a great thing, but it could be a con if, say, you are used to having 4 buttons at the back. The controller itself is wired, and again, doesn't bother me. But I know a lot of people will prefer wireless, or have setups that are kind of only designed for wireless use, and a wire would just not work. And again, I really do get that. I mean, as you can see, it's plugged in at the moment, it's on my desk, it really doesn't cause any issue. I know for other people it may do. The reason I've left it last is because it's the biggest thing I wish it had is hairpin triggers. A lot of people are going up against mouse and keyboard lately with cross-pay being enabled in so many different games. And we all know how it feels to either be sniping and just feel like they could click their button just that much faster than you. And I know a lot of other controllers that I won't mention, but we all know which ones I'm talking about, will have hairpin triggers and the option to minimalise the amount of push time or downtime or whatever you want to call it, to clicking that button to when it actually responds, so you can have it kind of half and light all the way down and stuff like that. So I really want it. I mean, I snipe a lot. I'm trying to get better at fast-paced shooting. I know that I'm a bot. I don't mind being a bot. I own being a bot, but to get better and while staying on console, it is very difficult to go against people with kind of like a mouse and keyboard. So I would love to see them do that, so that this controller would just be absolutely perfect. They can keep everything else. It's more personal preference on the reasons of the cons. But if you're like me, open-minded, $49.99. It's an amazing controller. Just want the hairpin triggers. If I can get them, happy days. Mark II maybe, if they could add a little bit more money, I'm happy to pay maybe like 60, 80 quid for it. If it's got the hairpin trigger options. But I don't want them to change it too much because I think it is a fabulous controller. And I really hope that you guys give it a go. Even if it's just to try it out, your controller's broke, it's going to cost you exactly the same as what a normal one would normally cost you. Give it a go. Can't go wrong. You probably will be so happy with it, as I am. There you have it, guys. My complete review of the Turtle Beach Recon Controller for the Xbox One. And I really hope this helps you guys. Even if it's just to try it out, give it a go. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. Let me know if there is, if you think there might be a better controller that can compete at this price range as well. Let me know. I'm happy to try out another controller and maybe do a comparison video if you guys think there is another one for me to do. But please be sure to hit that like button if you've thoroughly enjoyed me ranting on about pros and cons on this Turtle Beach controller. Alright guys, take care, have a good day, I'll see you on the flip side.